Yeah, so again, since we're on the same topic, since we're on the topic of it already, we'll do the ISC reaction a little earlier today on stream. And yeah, it's called Inside Star Citizen Pack Mule. Just a note, if you are a Star Citizen fan of like the game or features or anything like that, Invictus Launch Week is not for us. So these Inside Star Citizens are frustrating, but again, I don't know who they're for, but they are not for us. So the idea of that being a thing is just not how it is. Sometimes they do ISCs for us, and sometimes they do ISCs for people who like to spend a lot of money on the game, right? And yeah, this is for them.
It's a Drake manufactured ground vehicle that's called the Mule. I mean, it's a little on the nose.
Anyone that's played Star Citizen and done a box collection mission will be pretty familiar with the sort of the ways you have to do it, and from watching players play these missions, it's clear that there is scope to improve people's lives there.
So let's say that...
Okay, so there's definitely room to improve people's lives with delivery missions. I think most of them would be the missions and locations in general, not the way we move the boxes.
You and your friends have just picked up a cargo collection or cargo delivery mission or something like that. That means that you need to go to a planetside location, manually collect a whole bunch of carryable cargo, and then cart it to some other location. The Mule comes in here, where you can land your ship however far away from the location as you need to, drive the Mule in.
It looks like this chunky industrial thing, but it definitely accelerates, and it nips around. I got nothing but nips.
Load it up with 6 carryable boxes, and then drive them all back in one go.
What is a nip flip?
Save you a few round trips.
Well, what makes it Drake is it's kind of like almost low-tech styling. So, for example, chunky pipes in the interior. And yeah, like they're just quite low-tech.
When we were building the Mule, we were conscious of trying to make it fit in as many ships as possible, and size-wise, if you can fit a rock on board your ship, you can fit a Mule.
All right, so that's obviously like great design idea, is going like, all right, we have a metric that we want to keep to for things like these, because the Mule is very similar to an ROC. Where you find an ROC, you'll likely find a Mule, I guess, if you're wanting to like come up with a ship lineup of some kind or whatever, right? So the idea of that metric, I think, is a good thing. So like some positivity there, or not positivity, but just like pointing out the good things that they did, because I'm definitely going to point out some things I don't like today.
Actually, my favorite part is either the entrance door, because it has these big beaming lights on there that like kind of light your way, but it just gives it like a really nice character to it. Or the front arms, as I said, like when they deploy, it just looks like it's trying to give you a hug, and it's just like these little arms that kind of fold out, and yeah, it makes it look kind of cute. That and like that.
So that's the artist, right? So talking about the art of it, when an artist
wheels
says
kind
that
of make
stuff,
it look
I
like
got
a
no
Tonka
issues.
truck. It's just a cute little thing, you know.
Especially because it's true. It is cute. It is a cute little guy.
The Drake Mule is a fantastic addition to the game.
This is when I lose it. This is when I'm going to lose it.
It is a real big quality of life time saver for those that do box missions. And then in the future, with the cargo refactor, its next big use will be actually helping you load your vehicles. Loading these big SCU crates from where the cargo...
My favorite thing is promotional art.
...is delivered via a freight elevator. And
So,
with
not
the
realistic.
cradle in the back and the forklift at the front, You can then essentially ferry 2 large SEU crates towards your ship and onto your ship, depending on your ship, if your ship is capable of having it attached like that.
Okay, that is one of the more like egregious and like things that disgust me about this game is John was a designer, right? Like the guy was a designer for the game, not a ship salesman. I feel like I just went to a ship buying location, and the salesman's come up to me and is telling me why I need something instead of me wanting it in the first place because it's useful. So first off, zero mention of a tractor beam during this entire thing so far. Zero mention of that. Then saying how it is a wonderful addition and it'll make things more efficient. Guys, you have stairs at every location that I pick up a box from. There's no driving this thing in and just going like this and moving it over. No matter what, I'm still picking up everything one by one. So now you're adding an additional step instead of removing one. Like let's just, like, why are we not calling this thing what it is? It's a vehicle that might, it's a vehicle that like might work in the future and be pretty cool, but for the time being, it is like a very RP heavy focused vehicle. Like if you want to feel immersed into the game, this thing will be that thing for you. But if you want to be the most efficient possible, you're just going to be swinging shit out and throwing it all over the place with a tractor beam, right? It's not a forklift. It's not a forklift. Don't say that in chat, because it's not. It's not a forklift. So that's the thing that bothers me. Now, I think that's foreshadowing on the future a little bit, which they're not telling us. That's what it feels like to me.
The Drake Mule.
It feels less like malicious trying to sell me a thing than... But it could be like this. It's such a weird situation. Are they creating a vehicle and then nerfing everything that we do now to make that vehicle useful? Or have they seen us at like Jump Town just throwing shit all over the place and then going, yeah, we don't like that, so we're going to need to make changes. And then with those changes, we're going to need something that they can use to get stuff around. So, I'm going to try to look at both sides here. He seemed like he was literally forced to say what he said on the camera there to sell this thing because it's ship sale time. Okay. I think these guys maybe see the financial reports and see that like often they spend more than comes in that year. And the more ships they sell, the more job security they have. That could be a thing. I don't want to make those claims for John at all. I think that that's not fair at all. But I wonder sometimes if that's what goes through their head here a little bit. I don't think he's got like a gun to his head or anything like that, right? It's just what you do this time of year. But I also wonder if there's like actual gameplay. Like, is it out of the realm of possibility that designers saw us playing the game and go, yeah, we don't like that they're kind of throwing boxes all over the place, right? But then let's take it a step further real quick and go, well, what do we do in 0G? What do we do at not Invictus, at Xenothreat, right? Where you're taking boxes from the Starfare and putting it into another ship. They're always moving around. Easy fix, making boxes delicate. Yeah, you're going to use a tractor beam. So if you're using a tractor beam in space, are they going to make gravity be a thing? Is it going to only have a limited amount of time that it can hold something? There's all sorts of things that they can do here to kind of make it more realistic. And that's sort of what I'm implying here, that is more likely what's happening here than we're creating a problem and selling the solution, because I think that that's what like pay-to-win games do a lot. And in this case, I don't necessarily think that could be what's happening. I think it's way more likely that they saw the way that we were playing the game and didn't like it. And then this is a solution to them kind of forcing us into the way we're playing the game. I know this was like a long thing about a little tiny vehicle, like, which is kind of crazy, right? That, listen, I like the thing. I'm going to use it just because it's cool. But I don't think they're creating a problem and selling the solution here. I think we created a problem, and now they need to design solutions around not having us throw things all over the place, and it just looking very unnatural and weird. That's how I feel. Yeah, tractor beam battery, yeah, things like that. But I think like kind of, I don't think it's batteries that for tractor beams that would be a good thing. I think it'll just be like how long it can hold that weight, sort of thing.
Mule
like
is the latest in a recent line of small utility ground vehicles designed to improve the first-person, non-combat experience.
When does the Mule come out? Tomorrow, I think.
And provide more opportunities for expanded and emergent gameplay than ever before. And it'll make its straight-to-drivable debut in the persistent universe during this year's Invictus launch week. But that's not all, because the event has also brought with it the long-awaited Scorpius, with its popular styling and notable...
You all talk as if the game is complete? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm implying here, is that changes are coming, right? It doesn't make sense in the current game, so what are we going to do here? Now, don't say you all talk as if the game completes, data streamer. I don't think that that's fair, because if you just scroll back 2 fucking minutes into this video, so do they. When they're selling, the game's complete. All right? So don't just sit there and point fingers at us, because it's not just us that's doing this, man. All right? That's not fair. That's not fair.
Firepower, let's learn more about this tandem terror from Roberts Space Industries.
It's literally them.
The in-game one, not
Where do you think this stuff comes from?
Both.
My favorite aspect of the ship, if I could pick only one, this ship definitely has an unforgettable silhouette. When you first see it, you can
Star
definitely
Wars,
tell that it's
guys.
going to be, something that you need to take seriously. It's something which you're not really going to forget anytime soon when you see it.
It's the Star Wars ship. Let's go!
So we have a few heavy fighters in the game. We've got the Bounty Defender, the Anvil Hurricane, the Super Hornet, and they all cater for players who enjoy combat, but they want to have a bit more cooperative combat between you and another player who are in one ship taking on the hordes of enemies. Something that makes these 2-person heavy fighters special compared to smaller ships is just that shared experience of combat. It's just a much nicer gameplay experience.
By the way, I see a lot of people making comments about him saying heavy fighters and putting the medium fighters in the same category. I don't think he's putting them in the same category. I think he's talking... In that case, I think he was mentioning ships with the second seat that is useful for combat. So that's how I heard it, but a lot of people are commenting on the heavy fighter thing.
One ship taking on the world rather than 2 people doing their own thing.
So the Scorpius is a heavy fighter. It's quite agile given its size. It's a 2-person ship, and the gunner is in control of a remote turret. When we first conceived the concept of this ship, we didn't have the tech in place to have moving turrets. So I worked with Yogi and Mark to get this in place. And for the first time, you'll be able to control where the turret sits on the ship.
And it's also the first ship in Star Citizen to feature the iconic wing split.
We added a ship transform hotkey. So when the landing gear is retracted, you can use Alt and K to deploy the wings without...
Does this go for every ship, by the way? Because that's like a big change for a lot of ship owners. Yeah, like Carthual and Reliant and a few others. So only this?
Without having to also deploy the landing gear at the same time.
Maybe gold as they go
There
through gold
were
standard
certain
passes, they'll have
elements
it.
from other RSI ships, which we've taken,
Yeah.
most notably the thrusters. But honestly, this thing does stand on its own 2 feet, I think, more than the average ship. We were almost leaning towards a more stealthy, sort of futuristic feel for the ship, and kind of what that would look like and mean to RSI if they were to progress down that route.
So since concept, it's doubled its missile loadout, so it's now got 16 size 2 missiles. And the shields
16?
have gone up to a single size 2 shield, which is pretty hefty in the current combat meta. Whilst the Scorpius will be launching at Invictus Launch Week, development is not stopping on the ship. There are some things that we want to do with it in the future, but they weren't essential to the vehicle releasing.
This ship is for someone who wants an agile ship that also does a lot of damage. In future, what we would...
Hold on. This ship is for someone who wants an agile ship that does a lot of damage. So everybody. Like, what? What the fuck was that? What do you mean? Yeah, something ain't right. Like, something's it. Yeah. Just zero downsides. Like, there's nothing wrong with this ship. Oh, wait, guys, by the way, it's for you if you want an agile ship with no downsides until after the sale. Then we'll see. They're gonna do it again. They're literally going to have. It's not going to be as extreme, but they're going to have another Ares Ion situation here, I feel like.
would like to do.
Just
so,
after, listen, I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near as bad, but literally after that statement, I was like, here we go.
Wings retracted, maybe the ship can gain more momentum, have more agility. That is something we do want to look back at in the future. Ship that also does a lot of damage. In future, what we would like to do, so, wings retracted, maybe the ship can gain more momentum, have more agility. That is something we do want to look back at in the future.
That's actually cool. And can apply to other ships as well. See how, like, it's like a dive bombing bird. No, it wouldn't have more agility. It would have more momentum. So if you wanted to, like, dive bomb, you could do that. And it does make sense, actually. Which is pretty cool. That already happens? Yeah, but you guys, that the wings, what are they? I forgot what they called, like surfaces or something like that? Like atmospheric surfaces on your wings, like those aren't in the game yet. So when you fold the wings back, you won't have those. So I think that's what they're referring to.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Drake may
Control
not have the
surfaces. Yeah, thank
flashiest
you.
looks, but their focus on utility and usefulness can never be questioned with the upcoming Mule. That the RSI Scorpius will increase opportunities for those wanting to do the two-pilot tango while pushing turret gameplay into new spaces with its unprecedented changeable firing arcs. And that all of this is part of this year's
Talon as well,
Invictus
yeah.
launch week going on right now.
All the
Pop
bird
on
ships.
over to the robertsspaceindustries.com website for more details. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. This is the 7th floor of the Manchester Goods Yard building, 8th story of the building as a whole, and the first of 3 that will soon be home to our UK studio. Because they don't count the ground floor as one here. So the 8th story is actually numbered as the 7th story, 7th floor. No, Justin and Amanda, you do not cut this out. This is important. We'll see you all next week.
Cool. I think the theme for me is I don't think CIG needs to go as far as they're going to sell these things. The look and our imaginations can do it themselves. The Scorpius doesn't need to be said that it is an agile ship that does a lot of damage. It looks like a damn X-Wing. We're going to buy it, all right? The Mule is awesome. It looks fun. We're going to buy it. You don't need to go this far. And that's where I feel about this. You don't need to do this stuff anymore, guys. We're past this.